Do you feel lost when it comes to nutrition, counting macros, and the endless information there is out there about optimizing your energy and getting into the shape you want? Jenny the nutritionist has designed the nutrition program for ladies who lift weights and want to build muscle and decrease body fat. Vaguely eating less and working out more is not how you create an above average shape. Building a badass shape requires a strategy where your nutrition is aligned with your training and your plan is fine-tuned. Create Your Shape is Jenny's 4-month nutrition coaching program to change your body composition, be taught the science of nutrition, and create a nutrition routine that runs on autopilot. The Create Your Shape program is open for enrollment June 18 through the 29th. And for Mindset Mile listeners, she's offering 10% off with code MILE10. Follow Jenny on Instagram at Jenny the Nutritionist and go to jennythenutritionist.com/create-your-shape to learn more and to join the Create Your Shape ladies. Welcome to the Mindset Mile podcast, the show that'll leave you empowered to take action towards becoming the turned up version of your already awesome self. I'm your host, Aisha Zaza, and I'm so glad you're here. Let's go. Hello, friend. Happy Monday, and welcome back to another episode of the Mindset Mile podcast. Today's Ask Aisha question is, what's your favorite workout legging? So I have different favorite leggings for different things, but when it comes to lifting and doing any kind of metabolic conditioning workout, I have to go with the Lululemon Wonder Train. It's the most comfortable legging. I love the high-rise waist. I love the amount of compression that the legging is built with, and it's just a super flattering legging. I don't know. It's just everything about it. It doesn't have pockets though. So again, I'm not running with this legging. So therefore it is my favorite workout legging is the Wonder Train by Lululemon. All right. So the other day on my stories, I posted side-by-side photos of myself from 1 week postpartum to now at 6 months postpartum. And I really haven't taken intentional progress photos of myself like some people might like to do, right? To measure their progress every month or however frequently they want to measure their progress, if it's weekly or whatever. But it wasn't until very recently that I felt really strong again and really fit again. And I love that feeling. And I hesitated to post these side-by-side photos because I know how triggering body image and before and after photos can be for a lot of people. But ultimately, I wanted to share a reasonable timeline of progress, right? Like this wasn't my body 1 month after having a baby, and I'm letting you think that you have to bounce back and look a certain way immediately after giving birth. Like this was 6 months of my body healing, my mind healing, getting strong again, and me finding a new rhythm and routine with 2 small kids. And more importantly, the story I shared with it was how I didn't have expectations of my body looking a certain way by a certain time postpartum, and how I wasn't focused on the scale, and how I wanted to feel strong again in my mind, my body, and my soul, which thankfully I do. But man, let me tell you, the biggest progress those photos didn't capture is the one that happened in my own mind. Postpartum depression struck like a real bitch this time. And I know I've shared about it before, but if you do want to hear more, I opened up about this in episode 97. So anyways, I was really relieved and just so grateful that being transparent about my journey had actually inspired a lot of women, or at least those who chose to respond. A lot of women responded saying that they had followed me through my second pregnancy and that they too were now pregnant and were inspired to strength train this time around, or that they too were in the thick of antepartum depression, which I experienced during pregnancy, and that being open about it when I was going through it helps them feel seen now, right? So they're remembering the things that I shared, now walking through it in their own path and feeling like this isn't so unique or rare, like that this is a completely normal thing to experience. Or also the postpartum moms were sharing their athletic wins in response to these images. And it was really beautiful. And it got me thinking about how when we use comparison in the right way, comparison can actually be a really good thing. Because here's the thing, as long as we are human, we're going to compare ourselves. It is just a completely normal behavioral strategy where we seek to better understand our status, right? That's simply putting the definition of social comparison. And if you've listened to this show for a while, you've heard me say to stop comparing yourself to others. And what I really mean by that, and the overarching message in those conversations that I hope is received, is to stop comparing yourself in situations where you find yourself feeling bad. This episode is sponsored by Betterhelp. As a mom of two, small business owner, and self-proclaimed go-getter, the time I spend focusing my attention and energy outward far outweighs the time I have to myself, which I know we can all relate to. But filling your own cup is vital if you want to be able to fill up others. I'm a big advocate for therapy for many reasons, including the tools you can learn to find more balance in your life so that you can keep supporting others without leaving yourself behind. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Find more balance with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/mindsetmile to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/mindsetmile. With life on social media being portrayed a very handpicked way, right? And very curated, and being able to manipulate photos, faces, and bodies to look like whatever we want them to. Yeah, social media is a dangerous place to compare because a lot of the time, the low self-esteem issues that comes from it are not even based on reality. But here's something I want you to keep in mind when you find yourself feeling envious or jealous of the way someone looks. Or maybe you envy their charisma or humor or their relationship or just their life. Every time you get jealous of what makes someone else magnificent or what makes their life magnificent, you block the pathway to being able to see and access your own magnificence. Because your jealousy doesn't hurt them. Those thoughts are living rent-free in your head. They are not affected at all by it. And the only one that it eats away at is you. And what it's keeping you from doing is seeing and appreciating what makes you unique and gorgeous and successful and funny. It's keeping you from contributing your talents and efforts and kindness to the world because you have found an arbitrary metric to define how valuable what you have to offer is to give. I'm not going to pretend like just telling you to stop comparing yourself is all it takes. It really takes reapproaching how you think when you find yourself doing it. Okay, so here's the single biggest thing that has helped me is knowing for certain that we all go through extremely similar situations, feel all of the same feelings, and we struggle with a lot of the same things. Period. The reason why we feel exceptional and rare in our negative thoughts and emotions is because that's not what's commonly shared. But think about the hard things that you have opened up about with people, right? Where they then shared an experience that they had that was something very similar or that they had gone through the exact same thing, only for you to think, oh my gosh, I would have never known or I would have never assumed. Yeah, of course you wouldn't have known because vulnerability is something we guard for a few reasons. 1, not everything is everyone's business. 2, being vulnerable is hard for many people because it's uncomfortable and it's scary and they're afraid of being judged. And 3, internal and external pressures to appear better than we're doing. But think about it. We all know that person who makes tons of money that isn't happy, right? We all know the person who has everything going for them and everything that looks perfect on paper and wants a relationship so bad, but can't find the right person. We all know of the celebrities that have all of the fame and money and everything that you could want on this earth, and yet still commit suicide. You have to know that for all of the beauty, success, and fanfare that you're seeing on anyone and in anyone's life, that there are equally hard, painful, and awful parts of that person's life as well. Nobody gets all the good without the bad, or all the bad without some good. Honestly, just knowing this, it eliminates the possibility that things are actually as perfect as they seem, period. And my second approach to comparison or jealousy is to let it inspire you. Let it inspire you to tap into your confidence, your beauty, and your power, because you're the only you there is and that will ever be. And that's your freaking superpower. Do yourself a favor and go back and listen to episode 30 of this show called Being You is Your Superpower. Don't let that go to waste because you have deemed it not good enough in relation to someone else. Instead, allow their success or happiness to help you believe that there's that potential for you too. Find the inspiration in comparison and let it challenge you to do something bigger than what you're doing now. I promise you that is the best way you will build your confidence. But I also promise you it won't be without trial and error and moments of doubt, but do it anyway. You'll grow into your potential by doing that. And that's how you can use comparison to your advantage. I really hope that this resonated with you. If it did, please tag me in your stories on Instagram at @shazaza. Send this episode to someone else who needs to hear this message. I am fired up about this, and I really just love this topic, and I want you to just use comparison to your advantage because I know it can be such an awful thing, but it could be such a great thing if we let it. I cannot wait to see you next week. And until then, make it a great day.